Hey there, and thanks so much for dropping by. Well, let's start this new week with a glimmer of good news amid a sea of bad. Utapao Military Air Base in Thailand, our departure points, and that also for the first U.S. relief shipments allowed into Burma. On board the plane, water, medicine, mosquito netting. That's a start, but given the scope of this disaster, only a beginning.
More has to get into Burma. More has to reach the areas that have been hardest hit by this cataclysm.
Well, much of that now depending on two unpredictable factors, notably Burma's ruling military junta, which so far has refused accepting aid from the U.S. and from other nations. Even now, Burma is still refusing to allow relief workers in, raising serious concern about how much of the aid will reach those most in need. And now a second factor, the weather. Heavy rains pounding Burma. The forecast, more rain and more flooding. Bad news. Bad news striking China's Sichuan province in the form of an earthquake centered near Chengdu. The jolt was massive, rating a magnitude 7.8. China's state news agency Xinhua reporting thousands dead, with over 80% of all buildings in Beichuan County alone collapsed. Aid and relief rushing to the scene. The quake was felt as far away as Vietnam and Pakistan. Well, that's just another story that we'll be tracking here. And you know, we're just scraping the surface. The Serbian elections, an attempted coup in the Sudan, continuing instability in Lebanon. For all of these and for much more, keep your browser pointed to voanews.com. It's all the news you need, anytime you need it. Two items to end today, both involving sharks. One, a testament to cool, calm thinking. The other, pretty much a complete lack of thinking at all. Can you tell which is which? First up, Jason Cull. This is his leg healing from a puncture wound, and this is what did the puncturing. A great white shark off the Australian coast. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Well, from his hospital bed, Jason's account of the encounter.
I sort of punched it and it grabbed me by the leg and dragged me under the water. And I just remember being dragged backwards underwater, and I felt along it. I found its eye and I poked it in the eye, and that's when it let go.
Well, that sounds easy. So next time you're being devoured by a man-eating shark, just feel around for its eye and give it a good poke. By the way, you know, if sharks really came with their own music in the wild, courtesy John Williams, none of this would be necessary. But sharks don't have warning music. But you know, they do have dance music, at least in Russia. How do I get stuck with these stories? Well, regardless, St. Petersburg's newest aquarium here, and its newest attraction, shark dancing. No, really. Diver Sergei Panchuk plunging in several times a day, much to the audience's confusion, and then canoodling with several species of sharks. Says Sergei, they were a little bitey at first, but now they're just quiet and normal. Normal? Frankly, the download thinking there's very little normal about this. And potentially a whole lot that's illegal, too. Or should be. Well, on that sinking note, we'll wrap this download, and we'll see you again tomorrow.